Hey everyone, welcome back to Will's Bills Fam. Is that the name of our channel now? It said Will's Bills last time I looked on YouTube, but welcome back to another video. This is a life update video for you. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff, some big news for you. I'm going to talk about my pay and some plans we have to increase our income in the future.
Yep.
So exciting stuff, but apologies up front for the background. We are in prison right now, so this is what you get. Just kidding. This is our FAA temporary housing while I'm in class here in Oklahoma City. It's not meant to be a nice Airbnb type place. It's just a 3-bedroom, 2-bath place that works for us, and it's just a little on the plain side, which is fine.
Yeah.
We were going to go outside, but it's super hot and muggy, and anyway, here we are.
As good as it gets.
Yeah.
But it'll work.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So what's our big piece of news?
Sorry. Okay. The biggest news is that we have decided to put the kids in public school. Crazy. We'll probably save the...
It's crazy for us. We've homeschooled
their entire schooling career. And Emery's going into 4th grade, Nash's going into 2nd grade. We'll probably make another video detailing kind of the process of how we came to this decision, but overall, the stars just kind of aligned.
And essentially, the kids told us...
That was a big part of it, yeah, that they were ready.
Yeah, because it was just becoming incredibly difficult to homeschool them. And it's not necessarily a reflection on our parenting or their behavior or whatever. It just... They need to go be social and be in a classroom and be away from us. And so we're going to make it happen.
Yeah. So that's why the kids and I drove. And that's why, well, part of the reason why we drove and he flew. So we're going to leave in a couple weeks to go back and get ready for school start because it starts really early in Las Vegas. The bummer part is that he has to stay here and finish his 2nd class. And so we're going to be apart for a month, which really stinks.
So with the class thing, because I'm at a busier TRACON, it's a level 11 TRACON in Las Vegas, I have to do RTF, which is kind of the basic terminal class, but then I have to stay for TSU, which I think is the Terminal Skill Enhancement Workshop. They ramp up complexity and congestion or volume rather, and they get people prepared for the busier facilities across the country. So I got to stay till September 1st, and I'll get back in to town September 2nd. And we thought I'd be walking into our new home at that point. So here's the next update: is the house it's moving along, but the last update we heard is it's no longer looking like August. It's looking like sometime in September. Maybe you can put that picture up on the screen of the driveway. Our neighbor took a picture of our driveway, so here's an update photo of that. It's pretty exciting. It's a 42-foot driveway, which is way longer than most of the homes in that neighborhood. And the best part about it is that I will not have to shovel snow. Actually, Crystal did all the shoveling in Alaska, so she won't have to snowblow or shovel that thing ever, which is pretty cool.
Pretty excited about that. On the off chance that the house is done sometime end of August, then he's going to luck out because my mom and I will move everything in and he'll just get to come home and move right into the new house. So that'd be pretty cool if that actually happened.
Yeah, I'll be sitting on my butt here in Oklahoma, and she'll be putting the kids in school and moving us into our new house and everything else.
It's evening out because right now you're working your butt off in class and the kids and I are just chilling, having fun. And then it's like we're going to flip. But I guess you'll still be working hard in class, so
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll be. The other big thing that is consuming us right now, this is kind of the longer update of this video, is we're really starting to push hard on getting into an investment. Once we close on the house, we're going to have about $100,000 in cash that we do not want in our bank account, because that's the worst place you can have cash right now, as most of us know. And we really want to put it in something that's going to produce cash flow for us. And because of our finances and how they've changed in the last year or so, well, really like 6 months, we have this greater sense of urgency to generate cash flow in other ways. So our current thought on that is that investments can be more passive, where you just put money in something and you essentially do nothing and it gives you some sort of return. Or you can have more active investments where it requires your time, your energy, or whatever else. And the trade off is usually a bigger return off of those things. So, an example would be you get a single family home, you rent it out, and you have a property manager manage it for you. Long-term rentals usually yield, let's say $200, $300, $400 a month in cash flow, and then you give 10% of your rent to a property manager. So half of that cash flow could go to the property manager, and you're left with the leftovers. Versus, you could go to a short-term rental, which can sometimes cash flow several $1,000s a month, and if you do it yourself, you don't have to pay anyone else to help you run that property. But it takes a lot more of your time and effort. You're constantly dealing with tenants and issues and all the rest of it. So we're looking at those strategies and we're going, okay, I think we're in a spot right now where the priority would be to maximize cash flow as much as we possibly can, because it would be great to, I guess, not rely on my income or have to have Crystal work in order to just meet our basic quality of life. We're looking at options that require our time and energy and whatever else we can put into it.
Which the kids going back to school is opening up a lot of potential for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to rush back into getting a 9-to-5 job. And I'm so thankful that I don't need to. I feel very blessed that I've been able to stay at home this whole time with the kids and have loved that time with them. And we'll probably ease into the school year, and I might do some onesie twosie things here and there, but I think we're really going to reserve that time initially, and then once we get into the swing of things, that's when who knows what I'll be doing.
Yeah,
but it's exciting.
We talked about her just getting a job, but we're at a point in our life where the value of our time is a lot higher than what most jobs can pay, and that might sound weird, but if you're used to making a certain amount of money per hour, let's say, anyone in your household that goes to work and earns less than that is just going to feel like, ooh, that doesn't feel right. So we went, okay, if Crystal went to work for 4 hours a day and made $20 an hour, that's $80 a day, which is not even a meal for us sometimes. And if she did that 5 days a week, it's $400 a week, and I don't know, it just we could blow that on a night out in the town. It just feels like you work all week for just these, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it just doesn't feel like it's worth the time at that wage for our household. And so we were
right now,
yeah.
Could
and
be later.
when you're starting out your life, that's where you start, but we're not at that point. So her working is like, it's just not really in the cards for us. And we went, okay, could we buy a business? Because if we own a business and then she goes to work at that business, that could make more sense. We started looking at bizbuysell.com, and I think you reached out to a broker.
Yeah.
And she kind of explained our situation. What did you come back with?
Oh, essentially just keep browsing until you find something. I mean, it was kind of a dead end, but
Yeah, he was basically like, look at businesses listed on this website.
yeah.
If you see one you like, let me know, and I'll collect some money for selling it to you. And we also hit up a real estate agent who's supposedly investor friendly and thinks that way and has experience in that type of purchasing. And we got the same thing. Here's the MLS website. Look for some properties. If you like one, let me know. I'll let you know what the rent would be, and I'll help you buy it, and then I'll collect a fee for it. But essentially, we're realizing like, okay, we have to just start looking all over the internet for a business or a rental property, and we're trying to think of strategy, what would make sense for our time, our skills, our resources. And of course, we're not closing on the house for a couple months yet, but we want to position ourselves to be ready to jump on something when it comes up. And it seems like this day and age, you can't just jump on the internet real quick and find an awesome investment. There's a lot of people out there trying to get invested, so you got to compete and you got to really dig and work at it and kind of get lucky. But that's not going to happen unless we put in the work ourselves. So
Yeah.
that's the big push.
Yep. We're in the grind.
So to explain how controllers get paid, this is all on the internet, so I don't mind sharing it. But essentially, your pay is based on a bracket. There's a minimum pay and a maximum pay for each air traffic control facility around the country. That's towers, TRACONs, and en route centers. And what goes into that is two things. One is the complexity rating for the facility. I think the complexity rating starts at 5, which on paper it starts at 4. I've never heard of a level 4 facility, but let's just say level 5, which would be a small VFR tower in the middle of Montana, let's say, that sees 3 planes a day, all the way up to a level 12, which would be something like Chicago Tower, New York TRACON, or Oakland Center, where there are thousands upon thousands of aircraft passing through there per day. And the other thing that goes into it is the locality pay. So here in Oklahoma, it's not that expensive to live, but in Oakland, California, it's extremely expensive to live. So the FAA has assigned these different locality rates that they put on top of the base pay for that particular facility.
Which essentially means if you work at Oakland Center, you're going to get a little bit more money because it's more expensive to live there because the locality is higher, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
the lowest locality anywhere in the country is something like 16%. So you take the base pay for that facility, for a professional controller, you add 16% on top of it. And so here's what it was for us. In Alaska,
Did you make a spreadsheet?
no, I got to do a calculator
Oh.
real quick. So in Alaska, I was at a level 10 facility, and I've been in for quite a while, 13, 14 years or whatever. You get raises throughout the year. So I'm at a point where my base pay is $136,866. That's my base pay. And in Alaska, the locality rate, high cost of living there, was 30.42%. So you do the math, and what I was getting paid in Alaska was roughly $178,000 a year. Then we moved to Las Vegas, and the locality rate down there is 18.25. So you do the math, you take my base and multiply by that new locality rate, and my pay went down to $161,844 a year, which is over a $16,000 a year pay cut. And we have definitely felt that a little bit. In Alaska, the other big factor was that our mortgage was $2,900 a month.
Yeah.
$2,900 a month. That's $600,000 financed at a 2.25 interest rate. The property taxes are pretty high up there, but still, it was $2,900 a month. And with this new house, even with lower taxes, we're probably going to pay around $4,800, close to $5,000 a month, financing $776,000 for somewhere around 5.5%, maybe. We don't know by the time we lock in.
Yeah.
But
because the Fed is meeting again at the end of this month. They're expected another 0.75% rate hike, so it
Yeah.
can go up even more.
right, so essentially, we lost 16. Well, let's just call it. We lost $1,200 a month in pay, and our mortgage is going up by $2,000.
Yeah.
So that, along with what does seem like a higher cost of living in some ways, with gas prices going up and everything else, it's a $3,500 a month difference, which we're definitely feeling. It's not unnoticeable for us. The nice thing in Alaska was that we essentially could go out and do whatever we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We did some impromptu vacations where we decided day of, let's just go to Hawaii. We bought tickets and then went to Hawaii one time. It cost us $7,000-8,000 to do that, but it was something we could do comfortably. and we could go out and get all the toys we wanted and just have a lot of fun. And now we're at a point where it's like, we got to kind of watch it.
Yeah.
We're kind of looking at our budget closer. We're going, you know what? We probably shouldn't spend $2,000, $2,500 a month on food anymore, because that's what we did. We ate out as much as we wanted, and so now we're like, well, let's just try to eat at home.
So what would you say to people watching that are like, are you kidding me? You make that much money a year and you're complaining about
Yeah.
having to pinch pennies?
Well, two things. I started out making $10 an hour when I was 13 years old. That was my start.
That was your start? I think I was making $4.75 when I first started working.
$4.75? I don't know. I worked construction and I worked really hard, and it got me $10 an hour. And now I make something like $80 an hour, and your lifestyle is going to creep along with your income. For most people, there are some people out there that are very disciplined and continue to live at the same rate, but even them, they have to deal with inflation, and you're going to just get to a point where you're spending a lot more money over time than when you didn't have as much to spend. I don't know how it works. It just does. And we scratch our heads all the time going, someone who makes $80,000 a year, like, what are they doing? How do they get by? And we don't really know. We don't know their budget or their habits or anything else, but we don't have any debt payments at all. We eat out. We do invest in retirement, and we pay health insurance and stuff, but essentially, I mean, the money goes just like it is for anyone else. But the other thing is, we all live in a world where we're attached to a currency of some kind. We were talking before about this, and it's like even 100,000 years ago, when we were tribes of people just living off the land, your currency was your strength and your dominance, and the more of that you had, the better quality of life you lived. Most likely you could be on the top of the chain, and it's no different now. We all want a better quality of life, and most of us around the world are trying to do what it takes to elevate that and be able to have more fun and enjoy your life more, and it's all going to come through more money and more resources, more whatever. So I don't know. So by the way, my pay is on the internet. You can go to federalpay.org and put my name in, and the public has to know what federal employees make if they make over $100,000 a year. So it's on the internet anyway, and whatever. I don't care. Essentially, the big idea for us is that we want to feel free, and honestly, I don't know if I would work anymore if I didn't have to. The value of time is so high right now. As I approach 40 years old, she's going to beat me there. It's that time in life where it's like the kids are getting older. Before we know it, they're going to be out of the house, and all we want to do is have our time to experience life in the best way possible. And you cannot do that without money. I don't care how creative you get. You have to live in a home that you're comfortable with, in an area that you're comfortable with, and pay for life and virtually everything you want to do. We're going to Nitro Circus this weekend, and that costs money. So we want to just be able to enjoy life. It's not about money. It's about the freedom to just enjoy our time, because it's very fleeting. And I feel an incredible sense of urgency to enable us to live life to the fullest, because this is all we got, folks. So that's where we're at, and that's the big reason for the push. It feels right now like, I don't know how we're going to pull this off. Every time we analyze a rental property or look at a business, we're like, none of this is working. But I think it's within that grind where you find success. It's the diamond in the rough analogy, you know what I mean?
Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give us a comment, like, don't forget to subscribe, and
see you in the next one.